Welcome to In Frame Out's Year in Film, where we take stock of 12 months of spectacular cinema and unfortunate rubbish. With the upchucking barf of the last year washed down the storm drain, it's time to mop up the last few sodden clumps of the movies that made us gag. Having awarded the blue ribbon to our favourite films of the year, it's time to sneer in disgust at entries 5 through 1 of our worst films of 2023. In Frame Out is entirely funded by its amazing viewers. If you want to help us out going forward, check out the link in the description below.
No roads, no phones, no f***ing help. These are the wildlands, love. Rules of the jungle. Duh.
A weather-beaten sub-student film swan dive onto sharp rocks, Mercy Falls clearly has ambitions it can't remotely deliver on. And I get it, making art is hard, and I'm not here to personally attack a small group who just wanted to make a movie. Good on him, fair play, I hope you go on to bigger and better things. That being said, there are dozens of films released each year that cost less and achieve infinitely more than this, and Mercy Falls is a commercial product people paid cash money to slog through, so it's only fair I hold it to some sort of standard. And my god does this falter under anything other than the most charitable gaze. What we have here is effectively the poster child for the no-budget amateur horror formula that is walking in the woods, plus low-resolution drone shots that don't match up with the rest of the footage, plus endlessly reused flashbacks, divided by a script that only works if everyone is a complete moron. Everything here is so derivative, it's derivative of works that are already extremely derivative. There were multiple moments in my modest screening where audience members audibly gasped with embarrassment, or held their heads in their hands with exasperation as an actor delivered yet another line like they were taking the piss out of their own performance. Mercy Falls was released straight to Tubi everywhere else in the world, and I'll admit I was tricked into a cinema trip to see it by an excellent poster, and to be frank, I'd rather sit and look at that for 2 hours than stomach my way through this well-meaning botch job ever again.
The DNA of Jesus of Nazareth will be on display this week in Turin, Italy. Hundreds of thousands will flock to witness this historic event as the Shroud of Turin, the burial cloth of Jesus, is unveiled.
Okay, I'm going to read you the plot synopsis for The Devil Conspiracy, and I need you to know in advance that this is a real film. The Devil Conspiracy is an R-rated, pro-life, fundamentalist Christian sci-fi thriller about a satanic cult of intellectuals who want to inseminate an atheist with the cloned fetus of Jesus Christ, and they're doing this so that Lucifer can possess the cloned Son of God and lay waste to the planet with their unstoppable blend of good and evil DNA. It's up to a zombified, angelically infused priest to save the day, and stop our immaculately impregnated heroine from repeatedly trying to DIY abort evil Jesus by drinking bleach. I have not made a single word of that up.
What the hell was that?
The devil and schlock are raging inside of me in this thoroughly entertaining for all the wrong reasons, eternally confused clusterfuck. And call me a softie or a connoisseur of stupid, but it's hard to begrudge a film that's this ambitious in its idiocy. That's like getting mad at a dog for trying to fly an airplane.
Lucifer!
So yeah, if you ever thought Rosemary's Baby would be better if it was padded out with clips from The Sixth Day, ran through a Zack Snyder filter, and directed by the dyed-in-wool creationist who made a pro-intelligent design documentary arguing that evolutionary science was the reason for the Holocaust, then The Devil Conspiracy will no doubt leave you rock hard or soaking wet and ready to have the most loveless sex of your eyes-shut life.
We're gonna spread the word all across this country! You think there aren't others like us? Kids! Seeing their world and future just being traded away. Well, they're gonna take their towns too and make this whole world right again!
Selectively screened at a few festivals in 2020, critically ridiculed and shelved for 3 years, before being unceremoniously tossed out in the spring of 2023, Children of the Corn poses a moral dilemma for anyone trying to honestly review it. How do you delicately say this is blighted with some of the most tin-eared line reads and unbelievably awful acting of the year, and most of those actors happen to be kids, without it just being nasty mudslinging aimed at preteens and young adults?
Smell those toxins. Velvety and delicious. So good. Think I'll have a second helping.
Well, you blame the Pied Piper who led these innocent and unsuspecting children over this crooked cliff, namely writer, director, and absolute hack Kurt Wimmer. It would be impossible for anyone of any age to enunciate these rotten words and make them work, nor could these inexperienced child actors be expected to escape Wimmer's incurious, anhedonic eye for filmmaking. Children of the Corn is an asleep-at-the-wheel reboot of a franchise that's never actually been good, and it still manages to trip right over that comically low bar and smash its big dumb face straight off the bottom of the nearest barrel. The horror is devoid of horror, the violence isn't particularly violent, there's an inexplicable 15-foot-tall corn monster who isn't even on screen long enough to warrant a wheezing laugh, and a truly exasperating amount of this toiling turd is spent not on kids cutting up their parents, but on town hall discussions about farming subsidies that are clearly written by someone with literally no idea what the USDA is or does. Children of the Corn is a salted earth wasteland of wallowing crapulence, and the worst thing to happen to Stephen King since he came face to face with that 1985 Dodge Caravan.
Please, why are you doing this? Stop. I would have never left, I swear, please.
A movie that only exists as the result of an expired copyright and some clerical sleight of hand, Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey wrecks the curve when it comes to cynically produced cash grabs. As it hungrily claws the clotted sour milk from the sagging intellectual property tit from whence it came, nobody involved seems to have once considered putting any discernible effort into making a viable, watchable product. I've seen more production value, understanding of the source material, and imagination from porn parodies than this F- slasher in cartoon cosplay. This literally only exists because the creators thought they could cheat a quick buck by putting together the chalk and cheese pairing of whimsical childhood imagery and murdered women. It's just the cheapest, most bare-bones con job conceivable. Winnie the Pooh looks like someone painted a bootleg Shrek with discount cheese, it's all shot in the woods to avoid paying for permits, and the kills are about as convincing as me pretending to look sad when Henry Kissinger died. I feel I've already put more effort into ripping it apart than anyone did when putting it together, so let's not stand on ceremony. For the rest of this review, I will do as the bankrupt brains behind this misanthropic mulch have done. I will not try.
Would it displease you if I walked over and punched Henry Kissinger in the face? Would you find that entertaining?
You hate Henry Kissinger.
I f***ing hate him.
Yeah.
Because in my travels, I stumble across his good works everywhere I go.
Right.
I just feel like my audience is smarter than that, you know? They're not a bunch of religious wackos who are only looking for easy answers and don't require facts or 2 seconds of their own thought.
Left Behind: Rise of the Antichrist is, and I say this without exaggeration or hyperbole, one of the most insidiously hateful, disgusting films I have ever seen. Without the talent or truth of conviction to bother with subtext or allegory, this is unabashed QAnon propaganda of the lowest order. A pseudo-film in which a Tucker Carlson stand-in must prove to the world that all scientists are evil, every doctor is a liar, academic intelligence is a threat to freedom, and parity of race and gender is a conspiracy with which to erase white men and enslave the world.
I am talking about science here. And some of the world's top scientists have studied the data very carefully, and
Where did it come from?
All of the data has been verified by the United Nations.
I'm asking you, where did they get their information from?
Oh, and for the book-burning jerk-off to January 6 chuds who say don't bring politics into a movie review, even if the movie itself is explicitly political, well, okay then. Let's examine this on its technical merits alone. The cinematography would get laughed out of a freshman film school class, Kevin Sorbo's abhorrent direction leads me to believe he's never met or talked to another person before, the acting and emotion on display are clumsier than a lobotomized horse trying to run backwards down an escalator, and the screenplay is formatted and paced in such a way that defies narrative cohesion of any kind. So buckle up while Left Behind Rise of the Antichrist perpetuates the same Q-pilled, whitewashed, great replacement theory, culture war pigshit, and conspiratorial idiocy that chodes with the worst search histories ever recorded insist is the real deal truth.
Their plan, for several years now, has been to create an infrastructure for global order and this is the important part, by waiting for a global catastrophe. And then they're going to use all the fear and uncertainty in the world to get people to accept changes they never would have accepted before the crisis.
It's a tiki torch carrying, anti-vax, anti-Semitic, anti-intellectual, all lives matter rallying cry to the alt-right, and I don't know whether its technical incompetence makes it more or less reprehensible.
That's it. That's our answer. It was fate. My guess is these people never even existed.
This is insulting to everyone with a shred of sanity, any Christian with an ounce of faith in human decency, or for anyone with so much as a shred of consideration for anyone but themselves. For that, for dragging Neil McDonough into this, and for every second of my stolen life, Left Behind Rise of the Antichrist is In Frame Out's worst film of 2023. And those were our bottom 5 films of the year. For anyone who's missed any of our end of the year videos, there's a handy link to a playlist full of them in the description below. With that, it's time to say goodbye to another year and move on to all the fresh delights and miserable moments 2024 has to offer. A shout out to our Patreon producers Jennifer C, Claire MD, Becky O, J Card, Playman, Kay Kraus, Jennifer Fetish, and Nicholas Lerevere, and a happy new year for all these amazing folks who support us over on Patreon. Did you manage to catch any of these turkeys? If so, what did you think of them? Let us know in the comments. As always, the best way to support the channel is to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. And if you're in a position to do so, consider checking out our Patreon at the link in the description below, where you can sign up to get your name in the credits, access to our Discord, and membership to the In Frame Out Film Club. As always, thank you for watching. Until next time, this is In Frame Out.